everybody, it's Uncle Scott back here on the QwerkyReax channel. We are going to do another reanalysis today. Reaction, analysis, put together. Yep, still a dork. And we're going to do Money Game 3. Now, I was going to do the Money Game trilogy in order, but actually with some of the other people I've been showing the content to, they wanted to see Money Game 3 first. So I wanted to do my reaction before I post their reaction, if that makes sense, or my reanalysis, I guess. So we're going to start with Money Game 3 today. Super excited to do it. I love this song so much, and there are so many little like Easter eggs and things to love inside of it. So let's just jump right to it and get it going. All right. This was also the first video I ever saw where I realized Ren can play the piano too, like, and extremely well, obviously. So talented. And I love the faceless man thing through all of the Money Game videos. Well, except two, because that's a lyric video, obviously, but you know what I mean. Just kind of like, we're all the same kind of thing. Okay, so a lot of people I've seen online are like, oh, this is like another one take that he does and everything else. As a filmmaker, I'm pretty sure that's the first cut in the video. And the reason why is if you look closely, when he takes the thing off and you see that the hood goes across the whole camera, you'll notice that that's their moment. When it takes up the whole screen, that's their moment to make the cut really quickly. And I think the reason they did it is because his hair and everything was all disheveled. So I mean, not that he's like a big guy on how he looks at certain points. I think it was just an easy place to do it, and that's why they did it. I'll rewind a little bit and take a closer look with that in mind as he takes it off and see if you agree with me. Right there. See how his hair is a little different? So good.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can.
Okay, so props. the composing of the piano, like him being able to move around the room like that and do all of this. This is another thing that makes Ren such a genius. His ability to actually perform all of this all at one time is incredible. Like, it is so hard to do what he's doing. So hard. And then to have the right emotion with it and to make it all seem so natural, like it's not even a rehearsed thing. He's just having a conversation with you. He's just telling you the story. I'm just in awe of his talent and the way he brings out like the visceral, like, now you're a man, like at the right time, and to like really drive it home. I just no words. I'll back it up again. Hold on.
He tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself.
Bars. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. You could say that in a phrase or a comment on a thing, like somewhere in the social media world or whatever, and people be like, that's so smart. And he put it in the middle of a Money Game song. Whoops. Put it in the middle of a Money Game song. Like, that's genius. I don't have another word for him other than genius. Savant? Insanely talented? I don't even know.
It's just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here, son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30. His daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval. Moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside.
So I know he's about to stop with the phone ring and everything else, but did you catch right there? So part of my brain as a filmmaker goes right to, how is he doing all of this stuff? And the camera moves so purposefully. So, and he knows when those moves are, because obviously they blocked this before they did it. And you'll notice now, like, before this, right here, when he's talking to us, look, he looks done up, right? He's got the shirt and tie going and everything else as he's doing the thing. But then when we get to this next part, because he's going to do like the drinking part, you'll notice that he's all disheveled right afterwards, right after he finds out that his dad had a heart attack. That's coming up. But so my point is like, watch, you'll notice just as the camera's about to rise up past the globe before he answers the phone, that his hands are still up there ever so slightly. That is the moment that he undoes his tie and like gets his little disheveled look going. It's so smart to do it in these little like moments where it's not really noticeable unless you're totally closely paying attention. I absolutely love it. Here, I'll build up to it again so you can see what I'm talking about. It's so cool.
War with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po
right there.
inside of his pocket.
And now it's open like that. You'll see, like when we get him full on, you'll see it.
35, he gets the call. I'm sorry, son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack. I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed off, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion. Heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
How many people the first time they watched this thought at some point that there would be like a raid from the cartel and smoke bombs being launched through this like mini set? Like that's incredible to be able to think to do that. Him and Sam together, absolute geniuses. Filmmaking wise, creatively wise, I just so impressed. Also, you're about to see what I think most people agree is the definite cut in this video. Otherwise, everything is like a take. So I think there's 3 takes for the whole thing. I'll back it up. Here you go. Oops.
Just sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
So right here, the back of the wheelchair is going to come full screen, and all those people in the back are going to leave, even though you can't really see it because they'd be over to the left here, but see the stuff there, and then they can move the quartet in behind them. Pretty sure. This is also just epic, this part.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, mine, gimme. 41 he wasn't walking, 42 not walking quickly, 43 never running round the pavements of his city, 44 inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls.
All right, sorry, stopping it one more time. Does anybody else, when they hear that line where he says the value of a life, trading the value of gold for souls? I can't remember the exact words, but you know what I'm talking about. Like the first time he did that and he mentions a car like Lamborghini, I don't know why, but in my head, I thought of that scene from Schindler's List where Liam Neeson is like crying to Ben Kingsley. It's towards the end of the movie because he realizes like all this stuff he had, including his car, could have been worth like 3 or 4 more lives.
This car. Good would have bought this car. Why did I keep the car? 10 people right there.
And it's like one of the saddest scenes in the movie, but that's all I can think of when he says this line right here. Like, it's just, tell me in the comments if anybody else like put that connection together or if I'm just a crazy movie weirdo. Yeah. Okay.
This is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him. And it's a version of she. And it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Cut the music. This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy, community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution.
Also, his ability to live in this silence right here and not rush it, like that takes real artistic like temerity. It really does.
Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we...
Okay, so there's another part right there. And again, I'm sorry I keep stopping, but that's the point, right? So this is another production moment where why did they move the camera that way? Why are you moving down to the bullets? And why are you seeing him load it that way? I mean, it's not necessary there. He's talking to you. And the reason why is if you catch it, it's the split second before the camera drops below his hand. You see him take the clip that's in his hand and push it out like this. You'll see his hand move in this way ever so slightly. And that's because he's swapping out the clips for the blank clip or the empty clip, whatever it is, so that there's no risk in the production for, you know, them having an Alec Baldwin on the set of Rust moment. You all know what I mean. So just watch it again. I'll back it up so you can see it. And you'll see ever so slightly his hands start to go that way. It's such a production moment. And I love how they do that in these like side, like little gentle camera moves. It's so clever.
We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But
Right
if
there.
we teach
See it?
kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd, if there's more money for me,
Now this is the safe clip.
then there's no future I see where the humans survive with parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface and consume till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise.
Oh, and the rain here is genius. Genius. Also forces you to do it in one take, right?
45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants. He is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father. It's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
So good. So good. Also, let's talk about the fact that he says that a lot in his songs, like it's such a damn shame, or oh, what a shame. Think of like Tales of Jenny and Screech. Like that's a recurring theme throughout those songs as well. So, and I love how he revisits a lot of bars through a lot of his songs, or kind of uses them. It seems like a through line. I think for some other musicians it could seem lazy, but with him it always seems like a through line because it always fits. He's so talented. He's such a genius. That's my reanalysis of Ren Money Game Part 3. Definitely more songs to come, and definitely check out. I've got a lot of other people, some friends, and some random strangers. I am trying to spread the word of Ren as far across the world as I can. So I'm literally just meeting people online in my studio real quick for 5 minutes, and then they're doing a reaction. So stay tuned for some of those. And hey, if you made it this far, thanks so much for watching. If there's other things you want me to watch, of course, leave it in the comments. And as I always say, don't forget, don't wait for life to get easy before you get happy.